My name is Mary Somerville. Now, I was born Mary Austin. I was 16 years old when I met the love of my life, Isaac Somerville. Let me tell you how it began. When we were growing up, we had what we call, you call it now, a club. But in my day, it was called a piccolo joint, where you would go in and you had a jukebox and you would put coin in it and you could get 3 songs for 25 cents. We weren't allowed to go there, but we would sneak there anyway.
Being bad.
So one night, me and my girlfriend, we were there, and we had a curfew of being home by 11 o'clock. So we were out, it was in the summertime. In fact, I think it was in August of 1959. And we were in there and we were dancing, you know. And I had a lot of friends there. And this one particular night, which was a Saturday night, this guy walked in and I thought he was the most gorgeous thing I ever seen in my life. And he was standing up against the wall with a smile on his face. And a friend of mine came and asked me to dance. And I discovered that this handsome young man had brought this friend of mine where we were because he had been dating someone in the neighborhood. So he asked me to dance, and he told me that this young gentleman wanted to say hi to me. I couldn't believe he wanted to say hi to me because I just thought he was gorgeous. So what happened was I looked over and he was just staring at me. So the next song came up, and he came over to me and asked me to dance, and it was a slow dance. And I danced with him. We didn't even talk. We just danced. So it was getting close to 11 o'clock, so of course I had to go home. And I didn't see him again for a while. So fast forward maybe 3 weeks later, the same girlfriend and I, we was at what we call a park. Her uncle, which was like the same age as we were, had taken us to the park. And boring. So it being in the summertime, you know, the days were longer, so you had longer time to be out, but we still had 11 o'clock curfew. So what happened was we had heard about what you call now a club in Virginia, which was like close to where we lived because we were in North Carolina, but we lived close to the Virginia line. So we had heard about this club in Virginia. So we begged her uncle to take us to Virginia. And I remember what he said. You know you're not supposed to go there. So we had 25 cents apiece. And we each gave him our quarter. So he could take us to Virginia, to this club. Now, we had to pass right by our house to get there. So we went over to Virginia. It was in there, a whole lot of people were dancing just like you do in a club. And lo and behold, I looked, and here comes this handsome young man that I had seen before, that I didn't know his name. So I looked up, and I saw him coming in. And I said, oh my God. Trying to figure out how he found the place like a hole in the wall. But anyway, but something told me, I said, I got to know his name because, I was just interested. So when I got close to him, and I just asked him, which I don't know why I got the nerve to do that, and I asked him, I said, what is your name? And he said something that almost crushed me. And he said, Isaac, baby. And I said, oh my God, he's kind of bold. And that was all he said was Isaac, baby. So anyway, we were, the music, he said, I asked him if he would put money in the jukebox. So he put the money in, and I punched 3 songs, and they were all slow songs, because back then, we call it slow dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So in the dancing with him, I kind of lost interest in when he said Isaac, baby, because I thought that was kind of fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we danced, and by this time, it was getting close to time that I was supposed to be home. And we were further away because we went over there, we weren't supposed to go there, than we would ordinarily been. So, which means we'd have to leave there early to get home because 11 o'clock was curfew. So anyway, so my friend we had gone over there together, she came to me and she said, David, which was her uncle, said it's time for us to go because we got to get back in time. So I knew I wasn't ready to go. So I just kept dancing. And so the second time she came, and she said, it's time for me to go, for us to go. And my friend that I just met said to me, I'll take you home.
That's Papa.
That was, And I said, how you gonna take me home? You don't know where I live. He said, yes, I do. And told me exactly where I live. So when Betty came back, that was my friend's name, came back the third time and said that they was going to leave me. And I told her that they could go. I had a ride home. And she said these words, because my mother was named Lorraine, but they always said Lorraine. Well, I hope you don't get in no trouble because I don't want Miss Lorraine to be getting mad at us. I don't know what it was. I'd never done anything like that before. But I don't know what it was. It was just something in me told me that I would be safe.
Mm-hmm.
So they left, but I still left right behind them because 11 o'clock was curfew and care who you were. So anyway, so sure enough, we left, going home, and he took me right to my door.
And you don't know how he knew where you lived
at. The same friend that had said to us earlier when I first met him that he had told us where I lived.
Okay.
I found that out later.
Okay.
So anyway, that was on a Saturday night. I never will forget it. And when at my age, we had what we call court night. Sunday was a must and whatever, they had to come to the house on Sunday. And we had Wednesday night and Saturday night, sometime Friday night, but, So that was on Saturday night when he took me home. So the next day was Sunday. So that Sunday afternoon, around about 3 o'clock, he comes strolling to the house. And I didn't know that he was coming, So, we knew each other's name by then. So I remember, since I didn't know he was coming, I was in the kitchen. And he came to the house, and my mama said, was somebody there to see me, and see, she didn't know him. And so she